Hello and welcome to the first episode of Sonic 4 Episode 2. Host DaBlueShadow, and joining alongside me is two guests, TK the Hedgehog and DevTool238. So what's up?
Yo!
Hello.
So, the start of this Let's Play is pretty strange because instead of starting off as the main protagonist of the series Sonic the Hedgehog, we're starting off with Metal Sonic. So why is that?
Well, Metal Sonic Story is the prequel to Sonic Story, so we figured that it's best to start off with his story to kind of tell what happened in between Episode 1 and Episode 2.
So what did happen between Episode 1 and 2, if we're going to start with Metal Sonic?
Well,
Little Planet's returning, and Eggman revived Metal and told him to go get Sonic. And that's what he's doing, while destroying everything in his path, apparently.
So is there any change of the mechanics for Metal Sonic compared to the normal Sonic for this game? 'Cause it seems like he's revisiting the old levels from Episode 1 again.
there is to me there was a change. It's not necessarily just a sprite swap like I thought it was. He moves a lot faster, a little bit more smoother and fluid than Sonic does. So it's a little bit more dynamic, kind of like he is in Sonic Adventure 2 and I never even unlocked him in Sonic Adventure DX, but he's pretty smooth.
So, with Metal Sonic being included in the story, does that create much more suspense for actually us playing as Sonic when it actually comes to the point of the next episode?
I think it does. It builds up the real adventure for the real Episode 2, because really we won't get to see the full episode.
Continue the thing.
I forgot the question.
Suspense Sonic.
Oh yeah. We don't get to see the full Episode 2 until we get to Sonic's story and get through it, pretty much. So yeah, Metal does build up some suspense to Sonic's story.
Okay, cool.
I won't spoil what happens at the end of Metal's.
By the way, Blue, it sounds like you're kind of far away, buddy.
Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so we have completed the first act, I guess. Do we have 2 acts for each of them?
Nope,
Each
it's
stage?
just one act. Goes through each stage.
No special stages for Metal.
The Altar's Hidden Treasure.
So it seems that we're going to tackle through Labyrinth Zone again. And what was your guys' thoughts for the Labyrinth Zone for this style with Metal Sonic?
Well, unfortunately, this is kind of, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of like a gimmick to me. It's almost like we're just getting kind of like a cameo Easter egg type of thing, even though it's...
At least it was free, not like pre-order the game and you get it.
Right. It feels like we're just getting to play as Metal as a gift, rather than actually getting a full-fledged experience. But that's not a complaint, trust me. I love Metal Sonic.
At least they made it part of the story. Because when you see him in the Sonic 4, he does have weird moves that this story explains.
I just wish they kind of would have given him some more customized stages, I guess, but hey, we're playing as Metal, so who cares?
I'm pretty sure his stages are custom. They're like hardcore mode. They're a lot more difficult than Sonic's.
What, just hardcore, like, as in difficulty?
Yeah, compared to Sonic, when Sonic went through these, they're easy, but with Metal, they're really dangerous and hard.
Oh, I see. Because these acts actually last more longer than Sonic's, and it doesn't have the gimmicks that Sonic's had. Because I think in Labyrinth Zone, it was much to do with the light physics or light gimmicks, and it's just like a normal breeze through, like a normal typical platforming level for Metal Sonic.
That's true. It's like it doesn't get dark or anything in the cave now. One could assume that his engines are lighting up the hallway, kind of like Supersonic. But yeah, it seems like they took some gimmicks out and just kind of made it like a straight playthrough. But it is more difficult, like Jim was saying. Also, one thing that I'd like to add in here, being that this is like the first time we get to play as Metal in a long time, really, this is kind of like a nice formula for a decent Sonic game. It's like you get a couple of Sonic games and you get to play as Metal Sonic. That's how it was with like Sonic R. We got to play as Metal Sonic, and then we didn't get to really see him again until like Sonic Adventure 2, I believe. There may have been a couple of other games in between, little spin-off games. But the more we get to play as Metal, the better.
That is very true.
Just make it spin dash like how it was in CD. That's what I want like. He has that yellow shield around him when he spin dashes. Instead of being a copy of Sonic.
Yeah, they could have implemented that in this episode for Metal Sonic. But moving on, how far off are we finishing this act?
We're at the very end. There's a cutscene after this too.
Okay, cool.
Just look at the metal.
There you go.
Wow.
Okay. What did you just say during that cutscene?
That was awesome. That's actually pretty cool. I take back what I said about this being a gimmick and Easter egg. This is neat.
Yeah, I told you this was going to be something unique with this game.
That's I'm very impressed. I actually love Sonic 4. And that's saying something because I hated it before this game came out. I did. Even the casino stage. But no, I didn't hate it. Seriously, I just didn't really respect it as a Sonic game because I know that it's just about 100% fan-generated. But that's not a bad thing. Sega actually took it and turned it into something creative and innovative, which is something that they haven't done in a long time.
So what did happen in that cutscene anyway?
Well, he got some sort of ancient power, which, like Jim was saying earlier, it explains why he's so powerful throughout the game, and he has these new powers now. And Eggman sent him to find this treasure, apparently. Eggman must have discovered it while fighting Sonic in episode 1. So it's kind of like he's sending Metal on these missions, just like he sent Gamma on the mission to get his jetpack and to get Froggy before he was sent to actually, fight to his death, fight Sonic. And I don't know, it's just kind of reminiscent of that. Eggman's always commanded his robots to do these little side missions and we haven't seen that in a long time. So it's good to see that in this episode.
That's very true. I was actually gonna say as well that do you think that they should have changed the graphics for these levels and just revamped them onto the actual Sonic story side graphics? Because they've changed a lot of the graphics for episode 2 for Sonic side, instead of Metal's going back to the old levels.
I think they could have changed a lot of things, because the card gimmick is absent during Metal's playthrough.
He has no time for playing with cards.
You know what? There's always times for playing with cards. There's always time to gamble a little bit, and we saw that with the slot machine, so that's good. But I think some things could have been changed to tailor the game to Metal. But then again, he is kind of just going through Sonic stages, so I don't know.
One nice thing that Sega did add was that this content for episode Metal is free.
Right.
So you don't really have to pay for it. Unless if you actually got episode 1 in the first place.
Right. Well, you're right. You don't have to pay extra for it, which is awesome. The fans should appreciate that. I don't want to see a single complaint about episode Metal. Because I, for one, Metal, like I've said it many times before, Metal is my favorite villain in the series. He's my favorite villain, but even compared to Shadow, back when he was a villain instead of an anti-hero. I'm really enjoying the fact that we get to play as Metal again, and he's back in action in the spotlight again. I'm glad he was in Sonic Generations, even though he was a short, chubby little self instead of his tall, but I'm really enjoying this. I can't believe it. There's a smile on my face when I'm playing this game, and I haven't had that smile on my face during a Sonic game in years, so it's a good thing. But that doesn't mean I want to see any more 2D or 2.5D. Don't mistake that.
They're taking steps forward, but they're taking steps back at the same time.
Yeah.
You can just make 2 type of games, like 2D and 3D games. Like
That's
one for 2D games and one for 3D games.
2D games be arcade downloads, or 3D be full.
That's exactly what I want. That's what I've been begging for on the Sega forums, but the fans are really stupid on there.
Or the cutscene after.
Okay, so we have finally tackled through what people that only got episode 2 Sonic story of this game. So now we're into Sylvania Castle Zone. And what do you guys think to this stage?
Sylvania. They have a TV called Sylvania. That's what I thought when I first saw the name of the stage. That's irrelevant and has nothing to do with the game, but
I thought it reminded me of Castlevania.
It looks like a castle too. So.
Yeah, I've been playing too much Castlevania over the years.
I heard it has awesome music.
Yeah, I do enjoy. This is pretty much my favorite music in this game from what I've seen so far. Act 1.
You know, it's funny that you say that because this is technically, and I'm not bashing the game, but if this stage was like any other stage, it's gonna be Aquatic Ruin, which is your favorite stage.
Yes.
So
Oh, favorite water stage.
It's favorite water stage. So that makes sense because this is somewhat of a rehash of that. Somewhat. I'm not saying a full rehash.
Yeah. I would have said Aquatic Mine. No, not Aquatic Mine. Aquatic Ruin mixed with Hydrosity Zone.
Really?
Yeah. Because there's many water elements, you just keep them running past them to the water.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was thinking, and that was a pretty easy act 1 of Silver Castle Sylvania Castle Zone. Yeah, it's yeah, whatever. Okay. Well, for Act 2, anything different?
Not necessarily. Different music, different.
More underwater focused.
Yeah, a little bit more difficult.
And it has Flying Battery in its song.
Does it?
Good.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Oh, Blue, you're gonna love that carnival stage.
What carnival stage?
There's a carnival stage in this game, man. It's awesome.
There's no carnival stage.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
Remember-
Twinkle Park in its song.
Oh, you guys talking about that one? I thought it was just like a theme park.
Well, theme park, carnival, they're the same, right?
It's bright, colorful, and very casino-like.
It lacks casino elements, but it has like roller coasters and stuff, which is
Yeah.
so freaking awesome. Sega really did a good job on a game like this. I wish they could. I hope. I'm not gonna say I wish because I know that they can. I hope that they will implement their innovations and ideas from this game into the next 3D game and make it fully 3D and get rid of the Hedgehog. Not Hedgehog engine, but the new the Unleashed platform. I want that one gone. We need to go to something new, for the 3D portions.
All I ask is give Sonic 06 his elements a second chance.
As much as I want to see the Sonic Adventure gameplay come back, I'd rather them come up with something even newer, and better than everything that we've ever seen before. And I believe Sega can do that. On the other hand, if they need a reference, I'm going to say just go back to the Sonic Adventure days.
But tackling more onto Sonic 4 Episode 2 was that there was many complaints beforehand that a lot of physics problem from Episode 1 was not to scratch if it was supposed to be a reminiscence of the classic. So, since you guys have played it, give me your feedback on the physics of Episode 2.
The multiplayer mechanics are really they're really flawed. That's what I'm gonna say, flawed. But it's just glitches and things that they can honestly fix with the patch. It didn't really ruin the game at all. It didn't ruin the game one bit. I had a blast playing the game, and it's really fun. It's a really cool game. I mean, I've honestly never seen a game like this from Sonic in a long time, where we're in a nighttime stage now. There's actually time differences and whatnot. And the nighttime graphics are just so Nights-like. These are the type of things you'll see in a Nights game, with the little fireflies flying around the flowers, and just small details like that make this game or the stage really beautiful, actually. And that's something that I cannot wait to see in their next 3D game. I'm actually excited about a game that hasn't even been thought of yet. So Sega, they have to really meet me on my expectations for once.
As long as it's more 3D than 2D.
I want it to be all 3D. No more 2.5D. I can't take it anymore. If the next game is 2.5D, I can't say that I'm going to buy the game.
And I got a request from a friend asking that, has the rolling physics changed at all? Because he wants to get this game, he's unsure.
Well, the rolling physics have changed. Instead of it feeling like you're stuck to the ground when you roll, they I'm gonna say that they slowed down the rolling physics a little bit, but at the same time, if you go down a hill, you actually speed up. So I can't say that they 100% fixed it, but it's definitely not the same as part 1.
And does he uncurl at points?
You know, uncurl isn't in my vocabulary because I've never noticed it. I just play the games. I never knew what any fan was talking about when they mentioned the uncurling, so I can't answer that question. I'm gonna live out in the gym.
He doesn't when going through hills, but he does when you hit an enemy, like he always does. It didn't bother me either. I didn't nitpick the hell out of the game either, at all. I mean, you see me in the playthrough of episode 1, you just homing attack instantly and you're back in a ball. And you can at the same time.
Well, that's what classic fans wanted to know. Just to point out those questions first before we tackle other stuff much more later into the game.
Not gonna say like the classic games. It's probably more difficult than they think it is.
I honestly don't want to see the classic games come back. I'm sorry, but leave them where they are because they're special and they should remain that way. You know, this to me is its own tier. That's why it's not sold in stores.
That is true.